Hey guys, this is Central Civilian Auditor, and coming live because I was on my way to town and I saw something that was quite interesting. I thought I'd share with you guys. Let's see. Meat is murder. Delicious murder. Yeah. It's guys, let's go over there and talk to him for a minute and see why meat is murder. I'm gonna cross over to this section down here. Yep, Billy, I'm definitely gonna go over there. We are actually in Perry, Georgia right now. Uh-oh, I just noticed something. This is the Perry Methodist Church. Blind Justice was just arrested at a Methodist church for doing Pokemon Go. So let's see how things go when we get over here. Anybody got any questions they'd like me to ask why meat is murder? It seems to be a campaign here. Give me a second, guys. Looks like a bunch of cars. Walk over here. Oh, good old Perry, home of the big fair. Yep. Let's go here, you guys. That's exactly what we're going to do. Sorry, guys. This is a spur of the moment, so I don't have anything to stabilize this with. How you going? How you doing? Hey, how you doing, brother?
Good.
Doing good. Just saw your signs. I was just interested.
Yeah, we're just here raising awareness for the animals and promoting a vegan lifestyle. It's an abolitionist stance against using animals for any exploitive purpose, really.
Okay.
Because we don't really need it in today's world. We've got supermarkets. We can buy all of the foods that we need.
Eat at the supermarkets, though?
But it's not food. We actually get when you consume animal flesh or any of the animal products, milk, eggs, you actually make your body sick. It promotes cancer, diabetes, heart disease, all kinds of illnesses that humans suffer from. It's the leading cause of death.
Also, I think I read a study that wheat does the same thing. And as far as diabetes and certain cancers,
not as bad as animal products do.
Okay, so is the protest to prevent cancers and diseases? Is that what it's about?
It's for the humane treatment of animals first and foremost.
Okay. I thought there was regulations that handled humane slaughtering of animals.
Not really. And,
okay.
And there's actually no way to humanely slaughter somebody. Like.
Okay.
You wouldn't take your dog to a slaughterhouse to have them euthanized, would you?
To a slaughterhouse, no, but to a vet, I've had to have a dog put down. Yeah.
Yeah, they put a needle in their arm and they go to sleep.
Right, and you're not consuming them.
To a
right.
Pig, chicken, cow. They get kicked. They get their wings ripped off. They get.
I've seen some videos of that before in the past. Yeah, I've actually been to a couple slaughterhouses myself. I've actually used to live on a farm and had a pig slaughtered out there, and actually went through the process to watch it. They use a stunner to stun it, to knock it unconscious, and then quickly do that. But I was curious, the big sign over here says that, sorry, the motorcycle goes by. My question is that how's meat murder? I don't understand the correlation of that.
Do you think if I shot your dog or a dog that it would be murder?
Were you going to consume the dog?
Sure.
Then no, I don't. Not if you're going to consume it.
So if I shot you and I ate you, would that be murder?
It's cannibalism, and that is murder. Yes. I mean, there's laws that prevent humans from killing humans. Yeah.
So just because something's legal or illegal, does that make it ethical?
Okay. So if meat is murder, it's just by humans killing animals, is what you're saying. Like,
It goes back to carnism. Carnism is the idea that we eat certain animals, love other animals, get entertainment from other animals. So we love dogs and cats. We never eat them. People freak out when they hear that Chinese restaurants offer dog on the menu or cat.
So people actually do eat dogs and cats. They also eat horses and cows and chickens, goats, and squirrels.
And that's part of culture.
Right.
So it depends on which culture you're raised in to believe that eating whatever animal is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're raised in Asia, you'll think that killing a cow is actually really bad, but dogs suffer less. So killing and eating a dog is okay because that's what your culture and tradition has taught you.
Okay. So if humans killing animals for the consumption or for their furs or whatever is necessarily a bad thing, it's in your guys' eyes. So is this PETA? Okay.
No.
It says PETA on the bottom. That's what I was asking.
PETA gives out free materials.
Gotcha. So if humans are killing animals is murder, what about animals killing and consuming animals? Is that murder?
No, because they do it for survival purposes only.
Okay, and isn't that what humans are doing to survive?
I haven't eaten an animal in 3 years, and as you can see, I have survived.
But you have eaten animals prior though, before that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what was going on. So when I found out, I had to do better.
Okay, so the complaint you had was that the animals were not being properly euthanized for consumption. Is there any suggestions for better processing?
There's no way to kill somebody kindly, even if an animal has no pain. There's no reason to take their life if we don't need to, and we don't need to. And furthermore, the production and murder of 3 trillion animals a year, including ocean animals, is destroying the planet at a rate we've never seen before, because we have so many people that are eating more meat and animal products than they could ever need, that they could ever catch on their own if they were out hunting on their own. We're factory farming, producing all of this shit at such a global level that the shit runoff into the oceans is creating ocean dead zones, which is the nitrification of the ocean is increasing algae, which is consuming all the nitrogen from the poop, and then doesn't fish eat the algae though? Nope, because the algae grows at such a rate that it chokes out the oxygen. So in
the oceans?
Yes.
Okay.
And
I'll have to do some.
Water.
I have to do research. I haven't seen with the ocean.
There's large fish kills like down in Florida, off the coast of Florida, from the sugarcane fields, where they have.
Okay, sugarcane fields is a plant-based product, so plants are killing animals then.
No, the shit that they fertilize the farms with is running off of if they didn't have the shit that they were putting onto the sugarcane, which they don't need to make the sugarcane, then yes.
So that seems to me that it's actually a plant-based that's harming the environment, not the animal-based.
No.
Well, that's what you just said. Sugarcane fields, the runoff from the sugarcane fields is what's killing the fish.
In one specific case.
Okay, well that's when you brought it up. That's what I was asking.
Yes, in North Carolina, is the largest pig slaughter state in the world, the most densely populated, and them alone, their pink lagoons filled with their shit and blood and piss, and those lagoons are then sprayed out over fields, and all the shit finds its way into the river system, which then goes into the ocean.
Okay.
And kills animals.
Now the byproduct that you're referring to on those animals, the animal byproduct, the pig's shit, as you said,
yes.
and waste that's being sprayed on the field, that's all biomatter, right? And the reason why they use that is to avoid having to use artificial fertilizers and stuff like that.
But there's too much of it. They're spraying out too much. So
that would be the farmer spraying too much on his fields, not necessarily the byproduct that's being used.
There's too much being accumulated, so they have to spray it all.
Well, I'm gonna ask you this question: do you assume, or if an animal is being slaughtered for consumption, wouldn't it be in the best interest of that animal to use any and all parts of that animal so that nothing goes to waste?
They don't need to be used, period, though.
Okay, but other animals eat other animals, and us being animals are animals, right? We have canines for a reason. Excuse me,
Animals rape other animals. Does that make it okay for us to do so? You're comparing us to somebody. We have phones. We have cars. We're not animals in the sense that other animals are. Do you understand this? Can you comprehend that we're not animals like a tiger or a lion or a bear?
I'm definitely not a tiger or a bear, but they say that we're closer to the apes, and apes eat meat and vegetables and plant products.
But do apes have TVs, cell phones, cars, grocery stores? Can they walk
the ones that are in the zoos. The ones that are in the zoos, but taking all of the electronics and all the other stuff out, an ape left unattended, unadulterated, or any restrictions.
Unattended or unadulterated.
Okay. Well, apes have the possibility.
We're not apes.
So we're not apes. Okay. Scientists would disagree with that portion.
We're not apes in the same sense. We're more evolved. We have the ability to make kinder choices towards the environment, towards other animals. We can see an animal suffering and help them. We don't have to kill them.
No, I agree. If you see a dog on the side of the road that's been hit by a car, you can get veterinary care for them or something like that. But for the consumption of meat, I mean, in your opinion, in all honesty, do you think that it's practical or reasonable to think that we'd ever go to a meatless society?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, they're coming up with cell-based meats, and if we don't, the planet's going to collapse in the next 50 years because the oceans are going to be dead by 2048, according to...
Al Green?
No, 100,000 global scientists.
Okay.
Including...
Do y'all have data or a location for that information? In one location? Because I hear numbers all the time, but I can't ever find the numbers that people are saying. I didn't know if there was like a location that you can see the 100,000 scientists have said this. So I guess my question would be too, is how do we stop apes from eating meat out in the wild?
We don't have to stop apes or lions or tigers or bears because they all balance each other out. They follow the rules of nature, okay? Mm-hmm. So...
did you find the website thing out of curiosity?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I got distracted by your other question.
Oh, sorry.
So in nature, animals are limited by food availability, water availability, and habitat, right? Okay. So if there's not enough habitat, the species breeding, be it deer, apes, whatever, lions, is reliant on available food, water, etc. to exist.
That's a great point, and humans are too as well.
Yeah, and we artificially create our own. We drill into the ground to get our water. We mass rape and produce animals to a higher rate than they could self-sustain in the wild. Mm-hmm. We inject them full of antibiotics because we grow them in such dense populations to supply
sicknesses and stuff occur. Right, and that's if you put a bunch of humans together, that happens as well. Same thing as well.
It's the same exact thing. It's nature's control. If in the wild ever there are a million deer together, nature's like, oh well, there's too many fucking deer. Let's take the virus this one has, and he's bumping shoulders with this one. Let's pass it on and control the population now.
Okay. Did you know that, and this is a weird fact, did you know that deer actually eat meat as well too?
Oh yeah?
Yeah, a vegetarian actually eats meat. It's been caught on a couple different reports of deer actually eating birds in order to grow their antlers for the season to get the proteins that's needed that's not actually in plants that they're eating.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, you can actually YouTube it. If you YouTube it, you'll see videos on that. I came across that most recently.
Cartoons of deer eating animals.
No, this is a real bona fide video of somebody recording a deer, and these birds are flying around their face, and the deer literally chomps one down and chews it up and swallows it. And the scientists have said it's because it's the proteins that are lacking in the plants that are needed in order to develop antlers.
Yeah.
So it seems like it to you. just from the conversation that we've having, is that it seems to be more about maybe overproduction of animals and using byproducts for growing vegetables runoff. That's the real issue.
No, it's animal use altogether. So it's whether it's for fur coats or testing on animals in laboratories, putting soaps in their eyes, shaving their skin, and putting concentrated chemicals onto their skin and burning their skin. We don't need to use animals, period.
Okay. For testing, then what would you suggest for testing for those products? If we remove the animals from that equation altogether,
we can have volunteered humans.
Voluntary humans, and I think they do have trials, but I think the law prevents human testing.
Exactly.
At this point,
the laws aren't always.
So, are y'all doing anything in regards to trying to get that law changed?
Yeah.
Y'all are.
We actually have the Vegan Justice League.
Okay.
Which is goes up to DC and pays lobbyists to vote and
to act on your behalf for that stuff. Yeah. What's the website, if you don't mind?
Vegan Justice League.
.org.com.
Yeah. If you just Google Vegan Justice League, it'll.
Okay, so they can pull that up on there. Okay. Yeah, I was driving by and I saw the sign that meat is murder, and I was just it caught my interest enough to stop by and see what was going on. I can kind of see what you're saying, but I don't understand it. Because if we're all innately animals by nature, we all have a desire and needs for certain proteins and minerals. You're saying that it's okay for a certain species or group of species to eat meat, but it's not okay for humans to eat meat. Well, and you said it's because it's based off of what's in their area is what they consumed was okay. But we have produced farms to create that area with that meat supply so that we're not actually affecting wild or nature. So we're not taking anything away from nature. We're producing it in farms and create our own area of food that has nothing to do with messing up with the balance of nature per se on that. And we sell it in the market stores. I mean, most grocery stores have It
actually does have a heavy effect on all of nature because we're cutting down forests. The rainforest, the number one destroyer of the rainforest is meat consumption.
Okay, what rainforest in Georgia?
The soy and corn grown in South America and the cattle are shipped all across the world. They're shipped from Brazil to China. They're shipped from Brazil to Australia that had all the fires recently. So they.
Right. Oh, you're talking about the what is it, coronavirus, whatever it is?
No, the fire.
Oh, fire. Gotcha.
In Australia.
So wouldn't it be a better stance to be pushing for local growth instead of importing meats and products from overseas, which would save the rainforest? Because if we mandated something here,
we would have a smaller footprint if we just grew plants.
Well, not really, because if you think about it this way, a cow, a full-grown cow, okay, it dresses out approximately 15 to 1,800 pounds, depending on the type of breed of cow. And yes, I mean, what is it? They need, I think, 3 acres of area in order to produce that per cow, as far as like natural grass and everything. If my numbers are correct, I'm doing this off of memory, so don't hold me exactly to that. But do you think that in a 3-acre area that you could produce that much, that mass of food?
It's not just the 3 acres though. It's actually much more because of the extended period they're alive, all of the water consumption that the animal goes through in their lifetime.
Okay. But the water comes back out through urine, which then gets filtered through the dirt, and then through evaporation process, it gets filtered back in naturally. I'm trying to understand, I mean...
I don't think we're going to come to a full understanding. You don't seem to be open-minded to any of this.
No, I absolutely am, as long as you can... I mean, if you're providing something that makes sense, I'm trying to make sense of it, that's all. I mean, I can see the concerns of what you have, but it doesn't make sense because...
The very basis would be to watch Dominion Movement. It's a documentary created in Australia. It applies to the world because it's world standards for animal slaughter
Hmm.
globally.
But but we have Americans. We have standards for slaughter here in the U.S.
They're the same.
Okay, so
So
I'd have to look at that.
baby male chicks can be ground up on day 1 of life because
For
they're
ground.
useless to the egg industry.
Right, right.
Baby pigs get their teeth, tails, and testicles cut off.
To prevent from breeding or inbreeding and stuff, right?
Well, yeah, with no anesthetic.
Dogs do as well too. I've seen that in vets, and yeah, and the sheep as well. I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
did you know that the human baby, when they get castrated, happens within the first 24 to 48 hours, and there's no anesthetic there? Just letting you know.
yeah,
they put a pencil sharpener basically on the kid. They tie him down and prevent them from moving, and then they use a sharp razor blade to remove the skin from the baby without the anesthetic. And when it's done at an early age, from what science have said, is that the nerves and stuff haven't developed where they can feel it. I don't personally remember mine. I don't personally remember when I had mine done, because it was a long time ago. But you know, I'm going based off what science has said.
Yeah, but it's one that's not necessary.
Well, if you're trying to prevent inbreeding, yeah, absolutely, it would be necessary if you got them in the same area, because inbreeding causes health defects and all kinds of other issues and concerns that can be bred through, you know, each pig.
I don't know that they're worried about health defects because pigs get slaughtered at 6 months old.
Oh, like I said, I used to be a farmer, and I can guarantee you health concerns is the number 1 issue.
Because of profit.
Well, obviously, we're a profit-driven community, but if you're selling sick animals to people, you gotta go?
I gotta go.
All right, brother. Appreciate your time. Thanks for talking to me.
Likewise.
And then what was that website again?
Vegan Justice League.
Vegan Justice League. All right, we'll check it out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, circumcision versus castration are 2 different things. I understand that. I just got to see your comments. I didn't read any of the comments, guys, because I was talking and trying to hold the camera right. Like I said, I wasn't set up for this one. But anywho, I was driving by and saw these guys standing outside, and meat is murder. And, you know, I mean, everybody has different stances on that. But, you know, my question is that if meat is murder for humans to kill and slaughter and consume meat, then why are they okay with animals doing that? And he said that's because it's just the natural order of things, and that's the way things are supposed to be. Excuse me. But but humans aren't necessarily. Wow, that's loud. Humans are not given that same right as us being, you know, mammals as well, according to them. I was just curious. Anyway, that's not a typical audit, guys. But this is news and information, and I wanted to show you what was going on in this little community. It looks like PETA's here. So he gave you a website you can go to check out support if y'all want to, and get more information related to that. I'd love to hear your comments, so please post your comments below. And we'll go from there, guys. This is Central Civilian Auditor signing off.